Welcome back to the Vantage Point YouTube channel, and today we're reviewing nobody's favourite Status Quo album, Ain't Complaining. So vying for a top spot in my album hall of fame, which is hopefully on screen now. It's another Status Quo album, Ain't Complaining. Obviously when you get to the end of the video you'll see where it's gone into the chart. And this is the second release by this lineup of the band, Falling in the Army Now. And you know, if you ever go and watch interviews on YouTube, you can find quite a lot of Rick Parfitt, and he talks about Status Quo being like an old steam engine, and they just kept playing down the tracks, whatever fashions or trends were going on. The old coal steam engine just powered on through. And unfortunately you never get an interviewer who says, what about the Ain't Complaining album? Because it definitely sounds of its time. You know, it's full of 80s technology, and right for the first track with sort of the effect-laden vocal going from left to right, and the I like it refrain coming through it. This couldn't come from any other decade. I think it is the one album that's got is the most of its time from Quo. There are others, If You Can't Stand the Heat, Perfect Remedy to a lesser extent than this, but this is the one where I think they really made an effort to be contemporary. And but the first song is a kind of your chief chappy Rossi Parfitt Quo. I think I've said before, you can kind of draw the line through Break the Rules, Something About You Baby I Like. This one, I Didn't Mean It. It's that kind of thing. They just go from kind of a hard rock guitar orientated boogie with Break the Rules to the much more watered down version by the time they get up to like I Didn't Mean It. But so Ain't Complaining is kind of a bouncy little tune in that kind of vein. I quite like it. It's quite a neat guitar solo. It was written by Parfitt, sung by Rossi, which is slightly unusual. I think by that time they'd obviously decided Rossi is the voice for singles, because I think Parfitt's last sole lead vocal on a single was, well, it's either Living on an Island or if you count Don't Drive My Car, the B-side or double A side of Lies. So yeah, it gets the album off to a little bouncy, nice tune, nice little sweet guitar solo in the middle, but, just Quo of its time. And if the rock fans hadn't left after In the Army Now, they were probably leaving in their droves when this single hit the chart. Then you move on to the next song, Every Time I Think of You, and they move away from the kind of watered down boogie of the first song, and we're basically into AOR with kind of shimmering guitars and lots of parpy keyboards. The keyboards really dominate on this song and in this album in a way they had never done before and would never do since. It's not quite Jump or The Final Countdown, but they're certainly cutting right through, and the main hook in the song. It's a long way from Backwater or Just Take Me, and then there's, you know, the kind of, I like the kind of digitized backing vocals on Photograph during it, and I think it's a great little song. You know, it's kind of puts a smile on my face, got a nice solo. It's a nice AOR track, really. It's what we have. I think my conclusion for this album is, if you want to listen to a Status Quo album, you would not pick this one. But if you fancy a bit of 80s commercial hard rock, then this one, particularly side one, is quite a good place to go. And I think Every Time I Think of You would have been a much better first single than the title track I mean, the title track was just kind of watered down Quo, so it didn't really tell you what the album was, and probably more just alienated their actual fans as opposed to actually, every time I think of you, might have found some new fans, because it's a slightly different style of music. And in keeping with that, and yeah, and One for the Money's up next. Yeah, and Parfit's on the lead vocal this time, and it's an incessant keyboard riff propelling this along. No, it's really well sung, and it's another good commercial tune. You know, I do really like it for my sins. You can leave lots of comments below about how my opinion is completely wrong, and this is the worst thing Quo ever did. Although that's probably not the case, even if you don't like this album. Yeah, so it's another song that could be written for the American AO market. The guitar solo is kind of coloured by lots of little flurries on the keyboards. It's all very commercial and nice sounding. And then moving on, we have another Shipwreck, which is an old Andy Bound song. You can listen to his version on YouTube from his solo album, and it was done in the 70s, and it sounds very 70s. It's late 70s. It's got kind of you can hear the disco influences on that, and then of course they've now done this in the late 80s, and you can hear the late 80s influence on it with, again, the lush keyboards, and they've got the I Like It refrain from the Ain't Complaining put in there, which I think is quite a nice touch. Rossi complained about it in his autobiography. He did not rate this album. He said he said one of the reasons this album wasn't good was there was too many writers on it, whereas Perfect Remedy was a lot better because it was just him and Frost, so it was a lot more, it was just about getting his good songs on as opposed to Ain't Complaining, which was diluted by giving everyone a share, so some not so good songs got included. I think the opposite's true. I think that this one's good because it's not just dominated by Rossi Frost songs, which Perfect Remedy is. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's another Shipwreck's just another nice commercial little song, which I enjoyed. So yes, going well, this album, surprisingly. Next up, Don't Mind If I Do, which it's got a nice little guitar intro before the song comes in, and this one's actually, it's got a bit of the old Quo beat to it. Down along, it's just covered in keyboards. You can sort of imagine the old band actually doing this. It would sound a lot different, but there is a bit of the old Quo hard rock boogie hiding in the background. That's one you can nod your head along to in the old Quo style. There's a nice guitar solo in the outro. Yeah, that's another one that I think's pretty good and I always enjoy when it comes on. So next up is the real big shock, is the full-on power ballad, I Know You're Leaving, which I don't think they've ever attempted this kind of song since. They certainly hadn't done before, and it really sounds like it was made for US radio or even MTV, but I doubt it even got played on UK radio. It's, it starts off, kind of tender with the Rossi singing and Jeff Rich just keeping the time on the rim of the snare before obviously building up, and that great thing which happens on a couple of songs here where kind of Rossi can sing the verse and chorus, and then Parfit can take it soaring through a bridge or a chorus. I've got that, and I've got a nice guitar solo, and then I love the outro with at the end of each chorus, the big kind of bass and drum hits before they repeat the chorus. So it's a monster power ballad, very uncool, very commercial tune. It's probably the most overtly commercial song in the album, and it sounds like they were going for a big hit single, but they never, puzzles me, they never actually released it as a single. they just put it on the album where you wouldn't actually hear it unless you were a Quo fan and bought it. But you're already a Quo fan, so it's not really selling it to, and it was actually probably put a lot of Quo fans off, but it sounds like the track they wanted to get out to people who weren't Quo fans, so they would go, oh, I quite like that, I'll buy it. But they didn't release it as a single, so non-Quo fans and fans of the Power Ballad Joy probably never ever heard it or knew it existed. But yeah, I think it's a great tune. And that ended side 1, which, yeah, I think it's a really classic AOR side. It's not the most amazing songs in the world, but I think it's pretty strong. And yes, I quite enjoyed it. And so, moving on to side 2, we start with Cross That Bridge, and then side 2 is not as good. I think there's a bit of a real dive in the quality. And this one's a real country tinged tune, which is, it's kind of happy clappy as well. It's a real kind of happy melody, which is kind of a little bit off-putting at times. It's listenable. It's a song written by John David, who they really had diminishing returns with him, if you ask me, because he did Rolling Home and Red Sky, 2 of the more standouty songs in the Army Now. And then there was this, and then there was I Didn't Mean It from Thursday Work, and then there was the 2 terrible songs on The Party Ain't Over Now. So it was really went downhill with him as far as I'm concerned, apart from Better Take Care on the last album, Backbone. Actually, I think that was the best song on the album. So yes, this is not great, and it's that thing of I guess they didn't write the lyrics, so it's not quite as bad, but hearing rock stars who have made a lot of money, I know they'd probably lost a lot of it themselves, but they've made a lot of money, going on about how they want to make some money and then they'll not come back. You just think, yeah, try having a normal job where you don't make the kind of money you do. But yes, so that's a bit of a skipper really. And then Cream of the Crop's slightly better, but the keyboardy intro before the band all come in, and it's quite a frenetic pace, this one. Keyboard dominated, but fairly zips along. Not in a like a thrash metal heavy headbang way, just quite a fast BPM, I would have said. It's an okay tune, but I don't think it's as good as anything on side A. Those songs, not really in the Quo style, but they're just a lot classier tunes. This one's just a bit more run of the mill. And then you have the Loving Game, which is probably is the heaviest song on the album. I would have said the most rocking out they do, and the guitar actually more dominates on this song. It's really guitar riff led, and another perfect vocal. He sings it very well. I like in the chorus how it kind of changes kind of time halfway through, and that's the tempo change there is really good. Really allows the vocal to shine. Another good guitar solo. That song, as far as I'm concerned, really rocks out. Really quite good. So next up was the second single from the album, which didn't actually fare too well from here in the UK. It was a ballad, Who Gets Love. It does actually fit in nicely with the material on the first side of the album, going for that polished AOR commercial sound. A nice medium tempo, allowing for some big drums in the chorus, while the keyboards are parping away, along with loads of backing vocals. Definitely looking for a hit single here, I think, but unfortunately not to really be. It's one of those songs that employs that great tactic they've done through the years of Rossi singing the kind of the verses and chorus, and then when the song needs a build and a lift. Parfit comes in with some, some soaring vocals for the bridge, which then takes into the guitar solo, which is all great stuff, but employed well here, but not employed in the best ever song. But it's a pretty decent tune. The outro is rather sedate, with the odd bit of tasteful guitar thrown in, just kind of plods along to the end. No real amazing excitement there, but yeah, decent song. And then we move on to the big hit single from this album, Burning Bridges, which I did get at the time on a 7-inch. This is basically their last self-penned major hit. They only had one after this, which was the Anniversary Waltz. So yeah, this was one of the last times they managed to cross over to get enough pop music fans to buy their stuff, making up from all the rock fans they'd basically alienated in the previous few years. So when the pop fans weren't interested over the next however many years, there wasn't enough rock fans left to vote them into the charts anymore. So this was their 21st and second last top 10 hit. I guess it can sort of be seen as a watered down version of Hold You Back. It's got that kind of jig, which is good in concert, and I really enjoyed being down the front, jumping up and down to this one. Is a bit naff. Could it be seen as a guilty pleasure? Possibly, although I'm not particularly guilty about liking it, but you could see it from that kind of point of view. But yes, quite a fun tune. But at best, watered down, Hold You Back, worst Co's version of the Birdie song, maybe. But there you go, and then on to the final song on the album, which for me is the absolute worst. The track Magic. I think they're trying to rock here again, but the effects particularly on the vocals at the start of the song, I just think are awful, and the melody is just really great. So where I'm not keen on some other songs like Cross That Bridge, I can still listen to it. It can be some background noise which isn't too bad, but Magic, it's just, I was going to say I skip it, but it's the last song on the album, so I just turn the album off before it starts, or let it start and go, yeah, that's not very good, and then turn it off. So yes, that's the Ain't Complaining album from the Co, the once mighty Co, they might say. But yeah, as I kind of said, if I want to listen to Status Quo album, this is, I'll listen and go, oh, put Ain't Complaining on. But if I am in the mood for some, kind of polished AOR, kind of commercial rock, then it's definitely under consideration, particularly the first side, after the title track from 2 to 5 or 2 to 6, I can't remember. And then a couple of moments of good commercial, good kind of AOR stuff on side B, which is a bit more of a mixed bag. So overall, I quite like it. You can shoot me down in the comments if you wish. So yes, that gives scores for each song, which gives the album an overall total, and then you can zip into my Hall of Fame, where it isn't troubling the Co album, which still sits at the top. So that's another album review, and hope you enjoyed listening if you got this far. And as always, here's a piece of Vantage Point music to play us out.